each know that for each, the body, the mind, and the soul have been freed to fulfill themselves. Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another.
Bonangu Mandela Tina Lape Kona Lape Feli Kona
Hasim
Bonangu Mandela Tina Lape Kona Lape Feli Kona.
Oh, the sea is cold and the sky is gray. Look across the island into the bay. We are all islands till comes the day we cross the burning water. Hasim Bonanga,
Bonangu Mandela Tina Lape Kona Lape Feli Kona.
Hasim Bonanga,
Bonangu Mandela Tina Lape Kona Lape Feli Kona.
a seagull wings across the sea. Broken silence is what I dream. To close the distance.
You'll be forced to consult a doctor because you'll be very weak the time you finish your 30-day special diet. And also, there was only one doctor here on Robben Island. The doctor only comes once a week during Wednesdays. So if you are sick on Thursday, you will face the consequences, or rather you have to wait the following Wednesday. And on our left-hand side, we have a study office. That study office was used by the ex-political prisoners to pursue their education. Education was a privilege to us as political prisoners. If you want to study, you have to write an application, and the application will take years for a response. So you have to wait for 2 years or 3 years. People like Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela managed to pass his LLB degree through those conditions. And he wrote his book, The Long Walk to Freedom, without the consultation from the authorities. And his book was found, and he was punished. They didn't allow him to study for 4 years. And there was a youngest political prisoner here on Robben Island. During his arrival, he was 15 years old. His name was Dikgang Moseneke from Gauteng province, and he continued his studies here on Robben Island. And now he is a judge. Robben Island consists of 7 sections. There is a section for those who recently arrived on Robben Island, who will stay for a period of 6 months in solitary confinement. There is also B section for those who were considered the leaders of the organizations. People like Nelson Mandela Walter Sisulu, Clarence Makwetu, Mac Maharaj, and others. And also there is C section, which was used as a punishment section. If you have done something wrong here on Robben Island, you will be locked in those single cells in C section, where they will punish you. And also there is D section for those who were arrested in Namibia, who were led by Toivo. They were brought here on Robben Island to serve their sentences. There is also E, F, G sections. Those are the communal or general cells. Now let's proceed to F section, to my cell, that way. Communal or general cells here on Robben Island. And I spent most of my 7 years imprisonment in this cell. This cell was accommodating about 60 people, 60. We were forced to share that bathroom. Inside that bathroom, there are 3 showers. We were forced to wake up early in the morning at 4 a.m. in order to accommodate ourselves. If you didn't get a chance to wash, the authorities will lock you in solitary confinement. You will not eat the whole day, you will eat the following morning. And during those years, we had to wash thrice a week during Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. The other 4 days, there was no water here on Robben Island. And we had to wash with cold water, even during the winter season. And also inside this cell, there are 2 intercom radios. These 2 intercom radios were used to gather the information inside the cells. If you are discussing something politically, the authorities will come in and victimize us. In order to stop that victimization, we decided to cover these 2 intercom radios with blankets and put boxes so that the authorities cannot hear what we were discussing. People like Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela spent 18 years here on Robben Island, sleeping on the floor using those 2 mats. And there were no beds, no sheets, no pillows. They were eligible to receive only 3 blankets. 2 blankets were used to replace a sheet and a pillow. So they were allowed to sleep with 1 blanket, even during the winter season. And during those years, there were no glasses inside those window frames. And the rain will come through inside the cells. Here in Cape Town during winter season, there's a lot of rain, it's very cold and windy. Other people got the diseases like TB and double pneumonia. And when they got out of this prison, they died. And the ex-political prisoners went on a hunger strike for many days without food, demanding beds. And the authorities responded after 15 days, where all political prisoners were allowed to get beds. As political prisoners, we were segregated here on Robben Island. There were colored political prisoners, Asian political prisoners, and black political prisoners, only male political prisoners. Female political prisoners were locked in Kronstadt prison in mainland, and white political prisoners were locked in Pretoria prison, also in mainland. We were segregated on clothes wearing. The colored and Asian political prisoners were allowed to wear the long sleeve shirts, long trousers, with socks, shoes, and a jacket. But the black political prisoners were allowed to wear the short sleeve shirts, short trousers, with no socks, no shoes, no jackets, even during the winter season. People like Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela spent 18 years here on Robben Island with no socks, no shoes, no jacket. And also, we were segregated on diet scale. That was the diet scale that was given to us as political prisoners. So, colored and Asian political prisoners. On Mill, they were given 6 hours, which is 200 grams. And black political prisoners were given 12 hours, which is 400 grams. On bread, colored and Asian political prisoners were given 4 hours, and black political prisoners were not allowed to receive bread. They were allowed to receive Kuzamanda drink, the so-called energy drink, but it had never gave us any energy. Jam or syrup, colored and Asian political prisoners were given 1 ounce, and black political prisoners were not allowed to receive jam or syrup. And during our arrival as political prisoners, we were given the new names. As I have already mentioned that my original name is Sparks, but during my arrival, I was given another name, as all political prisoners who recently arrived on Robben Island, like Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, had never been called Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. I myself was called 5683, and Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was called 46664. And we were given a yellow card. On that yellow card, they will write your new name. That was the yellow card that was given to us as political prisoners during our arrival. But it was not big like this one. It was a very small card that you can put inside your pocket. That was the yellow card of Billy Naya, who was serving a 20 years imprisonment here on Robben Island. And he was charged for sabotage. And his new name was 6964. So now, let's proceed to Mandela cell number 7 in B section. And when you finished eating, you have to take your bucket inside your cell. If you forgot your bucket there in C-section, you will face the consequences because the authorities will never open the doors for you after 3 p.m. after locking time. And also inside Mandela's cell, there are 3 folded blankets. As political prisoners, we were forced to fold our blankets the way they showed us. If you have folded your blankets in a different way, the authorities will lock you in solitary confinement. They will beat you using shambles, punches, and also kicking you. So Nelson Mandela spent only 18 years in that cell number 7. After 18 years, he was deported to Pollsmoor prison, where he spent 7 years. And after 7 years, he was deported to Victor Verster prison, where he spent 2 years, and where he was released in 1990, 11th of February. So, we are now in B section courtyard, where people like Nelson Mandela used to eat and exercise. This first picture was photographed in 1995 during our first reunion as political prisoners, where we discussed about Robben Island. What are we going to do about Robben Island? Because all political prisoners were released on 27th of April, 1991. We decided to turn this place a museum. That's why it's called Robben Island Museum. And it started as a museum in 1996. All these people were the people who were together with Nelson Mandela during 1960s in this section B. These 2 pictures were photographed in 1966. They were photographed by the International Defense Aid Fund members who were here visiting the ex-political prisoners. On this second picture, there are those who are wearing long trousers with shoes, and those who are wearing short trousers with no shoes. So this is the picture that I have already mentioned there in F section about the segregation of ex-political prisoners. On this picture, there were smashing stones in this courtyard, working as hard laborers. This is Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela during his youth time, together with the late Walter Sisulu. The time this picture was photographed, they were not aware. They were busy talking, standing over there behind us. This picture does not show the true reflection on what was happening during 1960s. As I have already mentioned that the black political prisoners were not allowed to wear the long sleeve shirts. On that day, they were called by the authorities to wear these clothes because there was international Red Cross, international media visiting the ex-political prisoners. The authorities wanted to show the whole world that they were taking care of ex-political prisoners. On our left-hand side, we have a garden. That garden was made by Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. Inside that garden, there's that grape tree. Behind that grape tree on that corner is where Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was hiding his book, The Long Walk to Freedom. And the authorities found his book and he was punished. They didn't allow him to study for 4 years. And the time the authorities found Mandela's book, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela had already given another copy of the book to Mac Maharaj, the then Minister of Transport. Mac Maharaj was due to be released in 1976, and he smuggled the book outside the prison. And the book was read all over the world. Surprisingly, after our democratic elections of 1994, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela elected Mac Maharaj as the Minister of Transport because he was good on transportation of information. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, during their 13 exercise, they will play tennis. Over there at the back, you can see there is a tennis court. So each and every section here on Robben Island, there is a tennis court. So all ex-political prisoners are tennis players. I'm kidding. So people like Nelson Mandela, during their 13 exercise, they will play tennis over there. And they will smash the ball to another section, to that section A. Those in that section A, they will pick up the ball and open the ball. So inside the ball, there is an information. And those got the information, they will smash the ball where the ball comes from. And also, there were some priests who were visiting us, coming from different religions. We'll give the priest the information to pass the information from one section to another. And when the priest got out of this prison, we'll give them the information to spread the information outside the prison. And when the priests are coming back to visit us during Sundays, so the priests will come with information from our leadership in exile. So each and every Sunday, we had to attend a church. Inside those Bibles, there is an information. Now let's proceed.